guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do an update or part 3 to a pretty popular story I covered last week, which was titled, Newlywed has meltdown after husband gathers proof of her cheating for their at-fault divorce state. And guys, that story is about the guy who rushed into a marriage. I believe he was in his mid to late 20s, I guess. Met this girl at a wedding, which in my opinion is a bad place to meet a girl to get in a relationship with because they're already thinking wedding bells. Started dating, everything seemed great in the beginning, as they always do. And within 2 years, he was already popping the question to her. And less than a year later, he got married to her. And like that, bait and switch. All of a sudden, the frequent SCX they had all the time came to a screeching halt. All of a sudden, she was not interested in really being around him, not being very pleasant to be around, guarding her phone, girls' nights, girls' weekends, all that. And it was just becoming this tit-for-tat bad relationship. Had he taken his time with her, spent a long time getting to know her and everything about her, that he may have seen her true colors and not married her. But what's done is done. Eventually, he started this suspicious behavior got so bad that he found out she was cheating. He figured it out, saw proof of it on an extra phone she had hidden away underneath the spare tire of her car, got all the evidence of her cheating, went to a divorce attorney, got it all, and confronted her, and she's toast. Handled it like a boss. Kicked her out. Part 2 was with him dealing with the situation, letting her family know from his perspective what's happening before she could tarnish everything, as well as her sister, who he had a good relationship with, as well as the fiance, the dude that was nailing his wife, who also was a mutual friend. And it ended up with him pretty much, he hadn't heard from her and all that, and figuring out he's just biding his time with his lawyer, listening to his lawyer and all that. And now we're on to part 3. To where what he's doing now, where things have gone, etc., etc. And just like I said, guys, in that story, the main lesson of the story is do not rush into marriage if you're going to get married. Take your time. Know everything about her. Otherwise, your fate could be his. So he continues on with the story. He says, hey, everyone. I'm sorry I've been MIA for a while and I didn't respond to comments and messages. But I think I've caught up and now for the update. So, since the update, I've been enjoying my pity party drinking, more drinking, and more drinking. I say this is my first semi-sober moment since I found out about everything and can't really put it into words how I feel. I guess numb is an accurate word. In the last update, I told you I notified everyone, and the only one that didn't respond was M's sister, who I was very close to. Well, that night I wrote the update. I continued my drinking binge after I posted and passed out on my back patio with a bottle and a few beer cans surrounding me and woke up to the smell of breakfast being cooked. So, in the last video, if you guys saw it, I said to the guy, although it's understandable, he wants to drink away his blues, it's a bad idea because a lot of guys do this and they end up let's be honest, alcohol's poison, really. And you don't need to poison yourself over a chick. And said he was going to go away for maybe a 1 week drinking binge and get it out of his system and move on. Well, it sounds like he hasn't gotten the drinking out of his system yet. Okay, I get it. You want to escape, but it's just not worth it, and the damage it could cause. Not to mention the fact that what if he got pissed off and got into a car? Or you get my point. Fortunately, he hasn't hurt himself or anybody else. But you got to cut that shit out eventually and move on. My first thought was, oh Christ, M came back and thinks that making me breakfast was going to make up for what she's done. I worked myself up into a rage and threw myself out of the chair, ready for a scream match, but to my surprise, it was M's sister. We'll call her W. Aha. He mentioned the story, how he was close with her sister. And already I can sense you guys, your mind is in the gutter now that her younger sister is coming here to help him. I stood there for a moment trying to calm myself back down, but when W saw I was awake, she sprinted over to me, wrapped me in her arms, and gave me a big hug. This little sister really cares about this dude. She didn't say anything to me. She just shook my hand and led me to the table and put a plate in front of me. As I ate, she told me how sorry she was that when her sister showed up to their house and just said they were having problems and we'd find a few days. Then told me that when I texted her that we were divorcing, she asked M if it would be fine, and why is he divorcing you? Apparently M just broke down and told her everything. I scoffed and said there's no way she told you everything, and proceeded to tell her all that happened. There is no way his wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, told the sister everything. Guaranteed. In fact, I predicted that because they were having this tit-for-tat type of relationship where she's an a-hole to him, so he's an a-hole to her, and round you go, she would use that as an excuse for her cheating and all this. No way. What story have I ever covered where the gals come clean about everything? Never. W then told me that M had said that it was a one-time thing and I was blowing it out of proportion. Well, if there's anybody blowing anything, it was his freaking ex-wife. No, she was having a full-fledged affair with that dude. That is not blowing out of proportion. What'd I tell you? Bullshit. I told W that I had no intention of getting back together with M, and if that's why she's here, she's wasting her time. And if she's in contact with M, W needs to tell her to find a lawyer. She laughed and said she wasn't here for her sister, she was here for me. She told me that of course she'd be there for her sister, but that she and I are friends, and she wouldn't abandon me, especially when I didn't do anything wrong. Well, that was very nice to hear. And is it possible that this is a rare individual with unbelievable kindness and all that? I hope so. But given my age and understanding human nature, to me, I think the little sister has the hots for this guy. And she is moving in. This guy eventually is going to address that because obviously I'm not the only one that thinks this and thinks it's nonsense. But I also know that he's much younger than me and I've been around the block. No gal is this nice to a guy that they just care about. And even though her sister's a piece of garbage, still, she's moving in on her sister's man. I just don't buy this is out of the goodness of her heart. I wish I'm wrong. I guess I've lived too long, seen too much to not be cynical like this. Wouldn't that be something if he nailed his cheating wife's sister? Not that it's a good idea, but still, I can't help but think it. I stood up and went to her side of the table and just hugged her. I was so worried that with all this BS that's going on, it would ruin her and my friendship, and hearing her say that made me feel so much better. Well, that's nice, but I still think what I think. W stayed with me for 2 days, and he says, "Guest bedroom, you heathens," and left this morning as I'm preparing to leave for the cabin. He says, "I had it before my marriage, so M can't touch it." I was gathering my hunting and fishing equipment, and she asked if she could join me, but I told her as much as I would like that she should probably go check in on her sister. She agreed, hugged me, and left. See? She wants to spend as much time with this guy as possible. I'm not buying it. I'm truly grateful to W for being there for me, and before any of you say she's into me, she's not. She's also 20 years old, and that's way too young for me. It's just a really great friendship. We shall see, amigo. Doesn't make a difference if she's 20 years old. She's a legal adult. And it doesn't make a difference that she's your wife's sister. Doesn't mean she's not going to have attraction for you. You can't fight attraction. If you're attracted to somebody, you're attracted to someone. End of freaking story. Rules and nature and anything you can throw at it, rules, religion, whatever, doesn't matter. Attraction's attraction. You're attracted to, you're attracted to. I almost forgot to say that I went to the doctors and got tested, and the results should be in on Monday. I've reached out to Jay's fiance. Jay's the mutual friend that was doing his wife, and he told the fiance a few times to check and see how she's doing, and she said she's fine, and she doesn't know what to do. I told her she wants to meet anytime next week. She could vent, and I'm more than happy to listen. How about that? Imagine him nailing her and the sister. Not that I'm promoting this, but I can't help but think it. I've been on here for a little bit, so if you have any questions or advice, feel free to comment or message me. But I'll be leaving for the weekend, so there's no internet out there, so I won't be around this weekend. I also want to say thank you so much for the reading, reaching out, and the praise you've all given. You've all been a light and truly dark time in my life. It's amazing how when these guys write out their stories and people respond, it really is helpful to them, and that's great. And I think it's a good idea. He goes off to the middle of nowhere where there's no internet service, so he can be at nature, be at peace, listen to the birds, look at the trees, do some fishing, see some deer and foxes and raccoons running around. I just hope he doesn't drown himself in alcohol up there. To any of you who are going through this, as I am, the only thing I can say is to keep your head down, focus on what you really want. If it's a divorce, or if you can reconcile, set your goals one at a time in case the lawyer, then doctor, and notify everyone close and keep it off the internet, though also set time aside to get your feelings out. Thank you again, and sorry these updates are always so long. Dude, updates are great. I really want to hear what this guy, how things go, especially when the wife gets in the picture, because we haven't heard from her yet at all since he kicked her out of the house. So she's probably shacking up with that J dude or trying to get him. But I'm guessing he's going to kick her to the curb. And she's going to come crawling back to this guy. I'm waiting for it. Maybe we'll have a cat fight between the sister and her. That'd be something very entertaining. But I doubt it. But anyway, guys, that is a quick update. I know you guys like to find out how these people are doing in these stories I cover. I know nowadays, here on the SSM channel, the majority of the videos are either dudes asking me questions or people telling their personal stories. But occasionally I like to cover these Reddit stories to show you what's going on out there and all that. Throw a little crazy into the mix and all that. And mainly the crazier stories are the ones that you find online by non-subscribers are from, on the other channel, They Did What, which y'all should subscribe to, as well as my new channel, SSM Clips. It'll be a big help to me. Now, real quick before I wrap this up, some comments here, because they're always fun to listen to. One guy says here, I will say it again, bro. I'm extremely effing proud of you for the way that you are handling this shitstorm, and M is still delusional as F. Laughable shit with her. It'll be fine in a few days. Yeah, by Tuesday or Wednesday. She'll know exactly how fine it will be. W is the real one, and I know your friendship will endure for a very long time. Go and get some much-needed R&R now, and let the chips fall where they may. F-U-M. The whole comment section is full of dudes really supportive of this guy, and gals supporting this guy. Another guy says here, I truly hope Jay's fiancée runs. She deserves a lot better than the cheater. I'm glad you have W's friendship, and I hope you ease up on the drinking. It won't make you feel better in the long run. Enjoy the trip to the cabin. Sometimes being at peace in nature is just a healing for the spirit. I spent most of my life living in the country in Pennsylvania. Family had lots and lots and lots of acres of land. I'd go out there all the time, just chill in the woods by the creek, and did a lot of camping, built a little fire. It was peaceful as hell. Another guy says here, glad W has your head on straight. And that you have some good support too. I hope Jay's fiancé has a good support system as well. And I really hope karma comes for J and M. And I'm glad you're getting out in front of this everywhere. Karma will come for them. Mark my words. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I hope you have as good of a weekend at your cabin as you are considering. One thought though, do you have cameras at your house? I think it might not be a bad idea to have some sort of protection in case M try to come and grab some of your things while you're gone without your knowledge. Maybe you'll be fine with it and it's a moot point, but I wanted to call it out just in case. That's a good point. Not a bad idea he has some security footage because you know what this chick's going to do. Clearly she's proven to be very diabolical, to pull a bunch of BS. And remember, when he confronted her, she acted like she didn't know what he was talking about. Meanwhile, she's having a full-on affair, and it took him literally showing all the pictures of the text exchanges with this guy to make the point. But anyhow, guys, quick update here, let you know what's going on with this guy. I know you guys wanted to know. But again, the theme of the whole thing is don't rush into a marriage. Don't pick some girl you're going to start dating at a wedding. Because at weddings, remember, these guys, when they get to their 20s, they're ready to settle down because all their girlfriends are getting married. They want their they too want their magical day being the bride. They don't care about the marriage, but they do care about that wedding and all the attention they can get and everything. And once they get their guy, they're like, whatever, because it's the 2020s and you can't be a strong and empowered woman without having a husband and cheating on him or doing the open marriage, open relationship. People may call me negative and cynical, but doing what I do and living as long as I have, you see enough patterns and you realize reality is what it is, and it's ugly. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.